How could I not be romantic with you? Oh, I love you. How about we, set the mood, light a couple candles, I'll pour you a hot bath, maybe a little champagne. Why don't we call that cute little friend of yours over here, Catcher's Mitt? Get a little three-way, go. Welcome back to Odd Man Sports, sponsored by DraftKings. I'm your king of football videos, Brandon Perna. I'm also the host of That's Good Sports, another football show on YouTube. And please, if you haven't already, take a moment to like and subscribe. And if this video gets 5,000 likes, to borrow a phrase from Pat Bolin's son, on next week's show, I will suck flamingo balls through a hose. Which actually doesn't sound that hard. I mean, getting the balls through the hose, that doesn't sound hard. Extricating the balls from the flamingos, now that's a different story. I'm already sidetracked, where was I? This week's show, I'm going to share which Lion was the best signing of the offseason, why Zion might be in trouble during the preseason, and which pizza topping is poised for a big comeback in 2022. It's Hawaiian. Dinks and Dunks. Well, so much for these rookie quarterbacks stepping right in and succeeding. So far this season, 5 rookies drafted in the first round. Remember? 5 of them taken? Well, all of them are 0-10 when facing another non-rookie, and it's been hard to watch at times. Trevor Lawrence, who's expected to have the easiest transition, and not just because he has long hair, he's struggled throwing 7 interceptions, and it can't help when you're being coached by a guy who can't put on glasses without stabbing himself in the eye.
CJ Henderson.
And if you're wondering if it's funnier as a boomerang, it is.
CJ Henderson. CJ Henderson.
And if you're wondering if it's funnier as a looping GIF, it is.
CJ Henderson. CJ Henderson. CJ Henderson.
And if you're wondering if it's funnier in slow motion, well, dadgummit, it is. Mike Nolan, congratulations. You're officially off the hook.
Just had some Tabasco on my finger and it went in my eye. That wasn't good.
Saints quarterback Jameis Winston led the Saints to a 28-13 win over the Patriots. And before the game, Jameis was involved in one of my favorite NFL moments of the year.
Look for yourself. Second, play for the man beside you. I got his back. Man, look at the man beside you. Look at him.
What I love most about Jameis's reaction to Demario Davis's pregame speech, well, besides everything, is this is exactly how I'd act if I were in the NFL, as a sarcastic a-hole taking the piss out of everything. And I just kind of assumed that Kyle Orton was the NFL player I was most similar to. Did I match the Orton pick? Now, the New York Giants, after losing at home to the Falcons, now have the worst record in football since the start of 2017. Tied with guess who? The New York Jets at 18-49. New York City may do a lot of things well. Tall buildings, pizza, providing bus tickets for the homeless, but football. Oh no, football is not one of them. But change may be on the horizon. After back-to-back losses to the Broncos and the Patriots, quarterback Zach Wilson said the Jets going 8 quarters without a touchdown has made him and the offense stronger. Sure, Zach. And replacing my Viagra with antidepressants has made me harder. The Lions have honored Calvin Johnson with a Hall of Fame ring ceremony, but the event was marred by fans booing the team owner, Sheila Ford Hemp.
Lions fans, isn't it great to have Calvin Johnson here at Ford Field? Calvin? That's all right.
Wow. And while the Lions may have made some questionable personnel moves recently, Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn come to mind, they did nail one hire. Analytics assistant Kaio Briganti, aka the inventor of the boo meter. That's right, the Detroit Lions, who haven't given their fans a playoff win in 29 years, recently hired Briganti, a Colgate University computer science student who, as a part of his senior thesis, created an online boo meter, which gauges whether fans online were virtually cheering or booing. Let me save you the 46,000, Sheila. They're booing. And speaking of measuring boos, during the United States Ryder Cup rout of Europe, Justin Thomas chugged a beer on the first tee. Or rather, he chugged half a beer and dramatically spiked the can, hoping no one would notice. Well, I noticed. This was the worst attempt at bro behavior by a country club athlete since Roger Federer did this on Bear Grylls.
Do you know how we used to put the fire out?
Go on.
They pee over it. That was always a classic. Look at that.
Look at that, on cue. Once it's starting, there's no stopping. Roger's got stage fright.
Turning to the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs announced their entire team was vaccinated, including all team personnel and players. And Lonnie Walker, the team's shooting guard, has this to say about how he came to the informed decision to get vaccinated.
When we were kind of figuring out what's best for what, we went to the doctors. TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, leave it alone. If you want your real information, get it from, a family physician.
In a league in which so many high-profile players are vocally opposed to the vaccine, Walker's comments about relying on doctors and not social media for medical advice are important. And for those still confused, I went ahead and made a Venn diagram that might help. You've got Instagram on one side and your family physician on the other. And in the middle is only one thing: dick pics. Money tops. Lamar Jackson has clearly established himself as one of the most dynamic players in the league. But due to the fact that he was picked 32nd in the draft, his 4-year rookie deal averages just $2.3 million per year, roughly the same as it probably cost to build this animatronic raven. And while his closest comp from the 2018 draft, Josh Allen, recently signed an extension for 6 years, $250 million, Lamar's new deal, which is projected to be in the $45 million a season range, still isn't done. As for why not, you'd have to ask his mom, because Lamar apparently is negotiating his next deal without an agent and having his mother, Felicia Jones, help out. And I hope this doesn't sound biased, because Felicia Jones may be the next Drew Rosenhaus. But I'm much more comfortable with players' moms serving chunky soup than negotiating $250 million deals. And it gets worse. Lamar recently called off negotiations with the Ravens because, according to Adam Schefter, he is immersed in his quarterbacking job, which is why negotiations have taken a back seat. Well, we all know the back seat is a great place for getting screwed, which is what could happen to Lamar Jackson, because in trying to save himself a 3% agent fee, he's risking 100% of the bag. There is no bigger injury risk in the league than Lamar Jackson right now. And every time he shreds the defense, he is risking shredding his own knee. He's like a guy with a winning lottery ticket in his pocket doing cartwheels in a tornado. If only there were a cautionary tale, a ghost of Jackson's future he could see. Oh right, Lamar Jackson's backup the last 3 seasons, RG3, who blew out his knee and went from a pro bowler to a pro clipboard holder. After leading back-to-back come-from-behind wins over the Chiefs and the Lions, Lamar has more leverage than he's ever had, and he shouldn't take another snap until the ink is dry on a new deal that secures him and future generations of his family that FU money. And if he needs a clearer picture of exactly what FU money looks like, it's this.
There must be some kind of way out of here, said the Joker to the thief. There's too much confusion.
Shut up, bug, get down, burn that shot, yeah. I'm Jim Irsay's backup vocalist. Speaking of FU money, Kyler Murray is officially the betting favorite to win the NFL MVP award at DraftKings. So use my code ODDMAN if you want to place that bet. My money is still on Josh Allen, who is tied with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady with the third best odds. Odd man out! After the Bears' embarrassing 26-6 loss to the Browns last weekend, which featured a nonsensical game plan for his rookie quarterback, many in the media were asking Matt Nagy the question, why?
And you wondered why he wouldn't get outside the pocket more, why they wouldn't use more RPO, why?
And after the game, Nagy seemed hell-bent on trying to answer the whys as well.
And we got to make sure that we're hard on ourselves and we understand the whys. You want to go back and see, we get on the plane and start watching the film to see the why. We'll see exactly where we went wrong and why. Let's see as we go through it what the whys are. I'm going to be very anxious to get into that why.
Why? Well, let me try and answer some of these questions surrounding Matt Nagy. Why is he so devoted to the idea of starting Andy Dalton over Justin Fields? Because as a Chiefs coordinator in 2017, he saw how much it helped Mahomes to learn behind veteran Alex Smith. That's why. And why do the Bears turn the locker room into a disco party after wins? Because Nagy's coaching inspiration is Joe Madden, who's a big proponent of post-game celebrations. Now, I'll admit, there are some whys involving Nagy I don't have the answer to. Like, why do the two most overmatched coaches of the last 2 years appear to be separated at birth? And why did University of Delaware have Matt Nagy deliver the 2019 commencement address? Especially when the school's alumni includes a certain prominent leader named Joe. No, the other handsome Joe. Yeah, that one. And maybe the biggest why of all involving Nagy. Why did the Bears coach decide to sing an X-rated version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game at Wrigley Field?
1, a 2, a 3, take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some penis and Cracker Jack.
Penis and Cracker Jacks? At these inflated ballpark prices? I think we'll just stick with the Cracker Jacks. Thank you very much. Now, Matt Nagy's journey to becoming a head coach is actually pretty interesting. After retiring from the Arena Football League, he had many pre-NFL jobs: substitute gym teacher, real estate agent, high school offensive coordinator, but never a head coach. And as this profile describes Nagy's path, a journeyman moving up the line, and all of a sudden he's offered 2 head coaching jobs in the NFL, Chicago, and Indianapolis. It's a fairy tale story. Sadly, it's starting to feel like Nagy might have skipped some steps in this Cinderella story, which appears to be coming to an end. After winning Coach of the Year in 2019, Nagy has reverted back into a pumpkin, and the Bears are back to being a punchline. Just don't punch any pumpkins. That's it for today. If you enjoyed the show, take a moment to like and to subscribe, and to be sure to check out the greatest sports book in all of the land, DraftKings, for all your betting action. They even have a nice little promo code, ODDMAN, where they match your first deposit of up to $1,000. Not too shabby. So, see you guys next week